Welcome to Modern Business Life. Real conversations with the leaders, operators, and innovators shaping the way business gets done. No fluff, no filter. Just the stuff you wish people weren't scared to say out loud. Interested in being a guest? Email us at guest@modernbusiness.life. On with the pod.
Welcome back to the pod. Today's guest built the infrastructure that a significant portion of the AI industry runs on, and most people probably have never even heard his name. He's the CTO and co-founder of Zilliz, the company behind Milvus, which is the world's most popular open source vector database with over 30,000 GitHub stars. If your company is building RAG applications, AI agents, multimodal search, or recommendation systems, there's a pretty good chance your data is moving through something that he helped create. Just shipped Milvus 3.0, which is the biggest architectural release in the project's history, and his thesis is that the AI database market is going to be a $1 trillion business. He holds a master's in engineering from Cornell, and he recently spent $600 on Claude Code trying to vibe code a 2 million line database. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second. James Wan, welcome to Modern Business Life.
Thank you, Colin. Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's really glad to share more about my thoughts on how to build a database on AI and how to do web coding. It's a lot of fun here. It actually moves very fast, so glad to have the chance to share.
Yeah, awesome. So look, we're going to get to some of that technical part, but I do want to start because I was taken by that. So you spent a few $100 working with Claude Code to try to help your wife build a database. Tell me about that experience and how did it turn out?
Yeah, I'm actually not a engineer really buying web coding. Before 6 months ago, I started. I tried multiple different tools like Cursor back to 2 years ago, and thought it's really good for building tools or building my homepage, but it's definitely not going to work for a very serious workload. So I think everything changed after before 6 months before when I tried to use Cloud Code. So I was having a holiday with my wife at the island, and somebody from my team told me, dude, you should definitely try this Cloud Code. So for the next couple of days, I tried it. There's nothing else I want to do. I spent 18 hours just working with tokens, and it's actually have a really bad holiday for my wife. So, but it's actually a lot of fun for engineers. Yeah.
Well, look, one of the things that I'm eager to talk about is, since you work so much in open source, I think that there are certain organizations that are, AWS, Google, are starting to give away more and more of vector database, more and more of that underlying architecture, because they want people to be on their platforms. How do you compete with that? How do you position the value of something that you're creating and that you know as an expert versus something that someone else is just giving away?
Yeah, I thought to the end of the day, every other database will become a vector database. So we already been saying that Postgres has PG Vector, Elastic claiming themselves as the most popular vector database. A lot of the cloud vendors, hyperscalers, they also have their own vector database, or they try to leverage open source. So we've been seeing the market is actually going much faster than we expected, but also see a lot of competitions. For us, I think as a startup, the first principle is just to be very focused and move fast. I think AI really helps us. If you look at our GitHub repo, you'll see that the commits for the last 6 months is already tripled compared to 6 months ago. And the key here is we have around 70 engineers, top talents all around the world, and we can keep just focus on doing one thing with database. Even for all the hyperscalers, we might have a smaller team for that, but I don't think they have enough talents on just to focus on building vector search engines, and probably they are not moving as fast as us, trying to leverage all the AI tools. And it's not only about using AI to write code, but it's also more about your pipeline, your CI/CD, your verification, how you ship your products to users' environment. Everything should be using AI, and even for like do customer success, answering customers' questions. If you see every Slack channel we have, there's actually a AI bot helping people to debugging and giving them advice. So that's where we see as a AI native startup. And I think next very important thing is like we are not positioning ourselves as only a vector database. We just rebranding to vector lake base instead of database, because the original start for Milvus is like we build a very scalable solution on the cloud and trying to helping people with billion level data. We already see that with the AI, the data actually grows much faster. And right now, the bottleneck is not only about can you scale, but it's also about the cost. So one of the key advantage of us over all the hyperscalers is trying to helping people to reduce the cost. We heavily utilize all the quantization, all the like cheaper storage. Instead of putting everything to memory, we put it into disk, or instead of putting a disk, we even put it into like storage like S3, just to help people to reduce the cost when they have large data set. So we're already seeing that when we leverage those techniques, or using the top engineers helping people to do optimizations and make sure that their costs getting lower, we see more and more data coming into the platform. So that actually becomes our flywheel. So trying to spend more time on optimization, get more data into the platform, and when we have more data for more data in the platform, then we get more focused on helping people to like reduce the cost. So that really helped us to compete with the hyperscaler.
So that makes sense. So you just went from sort of stage one, which is a vector database, to a lake base, to now the vector, like there's this progression. You're on the front lines of building the infrastructure that makes AI applications possible. What's your honest read on where AI developer tools are versus the hype? I mean, you talked about testing and CI and pipelines, et cetera. Like, how far along are we? It's like, are we in a pretty good spot? I know there's always things changing, but like, what do you think is real versus the hype when it comes to all these tools?
Yeah. I think if you're back to 2023, 2024, I'm a little bit pessimistic about what we have on AI. We've already like adopt a lot of AIs in our daily workflow, but it's more like I think it's just a SaaS plus some AI functionalities. For example, if you're trying to build a CI/CD pipeline, it's more like adding some AI features into your existing product, helping people to easier utilize it, or just giving them a CLI, trying like helping them to directly connect and read all the logs. That's how we use that by that time. But I think with Cloud Code, with Codex, with all the agent console, it's actually changed, right? So we like for us, for example, originally people use vector database from their web console. They try to create a cursor on there. They look at all the data preview. They create captions. Everything happens on the web console. But right now we are pushing them very hard to just using CLI and all the agent features. Like instead of people click on the screen, they should just type in their terminal, or it's just using the API. And the reason we're actually pushing them to doing that is like you have to be connect all your tools, not only your vector database, your embedding models, your data source. Maybe you're using Jira, you're using GitHub, you're using Slack, like together with your AI agent, right? The more data you give them, the more access you give them, you see they become more capable, and it's actually moving very fast. So, for example, for us, everything, all the deployment, right, from building your code, from shaping it with your Docker image, from deploy, from the observability, everything has a AI agent in behind. Yeah. So I think that's actually moving very fast. We see a lot of value here. The only concern I have right now is whether you should build your AI tools by yourself, or you want to build it for other people. I think that's kind of like the major challenge, because what we see from here is like building for ourselves is actually much easier than building for others.
So you started this from scratch. It's now the most popular vector database in the world. I think you wrote or even said that you were there when James Wan at GTC, said that unstructured data is the context of AI, which I'm sure felt like a moment of validation. How did you come up with this idea that maybe other people were building, but yours appears to have won the market? Like, where did this come from?
That's an interesting question. So the company actually start from 2017. So it's actually a long time ago, where we try to build a database on top of GPU. So by that time, we my CEO actually comes from Oracle, and he actually from the traditional database world. But we don't want really to build a common product like follow Snowflake or follow the other analytical databases. So we said, why not just using, because GPU has so much computation power, why not just using GPU to accelerate data analytics? So that's where the company begins. After 2 years, we actually built this product. It's actually running pretty fast, but we actually see the challenge that the GPU is actually too expensive. So from cost-wise, it's actually not a really good solution. I would say today it's still the same case. You can actually build databases, like traditional databases, running very fast on H100, H200. But still, if you think about the cost, why not just have like several machines running a distributed ClickHouse or running any kind of like distributed system? So we thought we already have a database, right? So we need something more computation intensive. Yeah, and by that time, because we build the fastest databases all around the world, we see some customers coming to us say, "Can you just help me to do like object detection? Can you just help me to do a search on my images? I know you guys are fast. I've tried multiple different traditional databases, it's not working." Then we actually step into this vector world. We after some investigations, said, "Oh, we can actually using vector to do a nearest neighbor search." So by that time, we try to help a couple of customers start from brute force search. Then we try to add index on top of them, and then we thought, oh, that probably going to need a database. Every other like vector search is just a library, and what people want is more like a product, and kind of directly serving their traffic instead of letting them to like doing all the deploy, failure recovery, persistence. So that's where the vector database come from. We're just pivoting from a traditional database into a vector database.
Yeah. Got it. So Milvus 3.0 brings online serving and offline AI data operations like embedding, clustering, deduplication into one architecture. What, you were just mentioning H100s. Like, what does the compute requirement or compute infrastructure look like for that? Is it super heavy, or are you trying to build something that doesn't necessarily need Vera Rubin or what's coming next?
Yeah, we do have two modes. Of course, if you're using GPU, it's definitely helping you to accelerate on a lot of the operations. For example, doing clustering, doing next building. We've been working very closely with the NVIDIA team and see like using GPU can help you to accelerate 10 to 20 times on those kind of like operations. On the other side, we try to avoid to be bound to GPUs, especially for the H100 or B series, because those GPUs are like too expensive. I think only if you're trying to serve larger models, even if you're trying to serving embeddings or doing vector database, I would just start from L series or maybe just using CPUs. So we do have two different approach. Even if you're using CPU, you should see it's actually become much faster than the traditional way to do that, like using Spark or using any kind of other kind of solutions. But yeah, if you are chasing the fastest performance and you have like incredible goal to achieve, I would say GPU will gonna be the choice.
Got it. All right, awesome. So I've just got a couple questions left for you. One is big picture, and one is more narrow. I'm going to start with the more narrow. So much is changing. Technology is changing so much. As I told you earlier on, like I started back when everybody had flip phones and you were paying for like just to get on your email like once a day on the phone, and things are changing. Where do you think if you were to want to be a CTO for an AI technology and infrastructure company, somebody coming up behind you, what's one piece of advice that you would give them as in this environment? Like how do you get the chops? How do you get the knowledge to actually become a leader in the space?
Actually, I have a very neat suggestions, like you should still write the code by yourself. So yeah, I know people are really busy as a man doing a lot of manage, trying to talk to customers. Those kind of things are very important. But once you get far away from coding, get far away from this AI approach, everything changed after 6 months. So that's actually the experience I have. Like I tried Cursor, tried different kind of tools back to 2024. I thought it's not gonna be working. But if someone didn't told me like cloud code making so much progress, I'm probably gonna do the whole company probably gonna do mix for the next 3 months. So no matter how busy you are, you should still trying to use all kind of different tools and understand what is the frontier is, and also like keep watching on all the news and read latest papers. That actually help you to keep the sense about where AI is right now. And when you build product, you should always ahead of the existing like best models for like 6 months. So after your product is ready, the AI model might be ready at the same time. So you can just that's the best time for you to do the product launch.
Interesting. And then the bigger picture question is, and it doesn't have to be about vector databases or GPUs or even AI, but like, what do you think the world looks like in 5 years? Like, what's a big change that you're expecting technology to enable 5 years from now?
Yeah, I would bet a lot on the physical AI. So if I'm not on the vector database business, maybe the next step I'll be on is trying to build embodied AIs, learning a little bit about word models. Yeah, I think it's already a lot of the like desk jobs has already changed by cloud and OpenAI, but still we see a lot of new challenges on like the physical world. Yeah, and I will keep talking to a lot of my friends who is actually working on this industry. I think I think it's probably going to have a breakthrough because you already see that all the investors, all the top talents is actually in this world. And for the last 1 or 2 years, we see people are collecting more and more data, and we already see new models coming out. So I thought probably in the next 3 or 4 years, there's going to be a big breakthrough, just like where ChatGPT comes out. Right now, it's more like the early stage of ChatGPT, probably GPT-1 or GPT-2. You still need a little bit of patience, and I'm going to have any kind of magic. But I thought it's word probably going to be changed more. So that's also why for us we're trying to build this vector lake base, just trying to power all those embodied AI and word model companies. I think it's going to be the future. So we also want to be the part of the journey. Yeah, thank you, Colin. It's nice talking to everyone.
Thanks for keep rolling with the punches.